Barbican Gate of Tollymore Forest Park has stood since the late 1700s. Once the grand entrance to Tollymore House, it now stands as a squeaky bum entrance to the Caravan Park. You definitely don't have much wiggle room either side. Just past the gate, the Himalayan cedars create a stunning and imposing drive up to the Forest Ranger's office.
Outbreaks of rain pushing eastwards on a southwesterly wind. Some will be heavy, drier conditions further south.
Do you have a favourite food that you eat when you're away in your caravan or away camping, whatever it is? These burgers are our favourite thing. They're a tradition. Now, sometimes what's involved in them will change. Sometimes there's pineapple, sometimes there's not. It just depends on what I've remembered to bring because there's an awful lot of ingredients in them. But we know we've arrived and we're settled for the night whenever I make Valhalla burgers.
Cheers.
I want his sword. I'm sorry. What? Not really. How did...
We've come away this weekend to Tollymore Caravan Forest Park. This weekend, unfortunately, it has been really bad. We, again, had double booked ourselves. We were going to go and see the Vikings. They were doing a reenactment day in Delamont. We racked up the caravan, got it in place, didn't even have time to get changed or anything. We just got it into sight and then raced over to Delamont because this was the day that they were doing the boat burning in the evening with the death of Magnus. So we didn't want to do the Sunday because the Sunday it's just a bit of reenacting in the stalls and there's not the same kind of theatre to it. And it's just as well because this morning when we woke up they'd put on Facebook that today's events had all been cancelled because the weather was so bad. And we had actually commented yesterday, I have been playing about with the idea of getting a rooftop tent box of the 3 different versions, and I really from they've come out I keep going, yeah, we're going to go get one, and then I just decide no. I chicken out at the last minute because I'm like, well, we've got the back of the Jeep, we've got the caravan, so I mean, where does a tent box really fit in when you've got all that covered? And this morning I gotta say it kind of put a final nail in the coffin. There was a couple that arrived last night and they were parked just over from us, and it had already started getting a bit windy and rainy, and we were thinking, God, it's not going to be great, they'll not have a good night's sleep. But this morning at about 7 o'clock in the morning, we woke up when one of the really strong gusts of wind was shaking the caravan, and looked out the window and the young couple were actually packing up to go home at 17 minutes past 7 this morning because I looked at my watch just to double check. So dear loving, they must have had an absolutely atrocious night. And Pat has said, with the weather that we get here, what are you going to do? The tent will, if you're in the ground, you can at least shelter down behind the car, hopefully, or in the caravan, but the tent box just doesn't, to him, didn't make sense. And every time I drive past somebody or see somebody with one on the roof, I'm like, oh, it's a tent box, it's a tent box. But I don't think I could, not even that I couldn't justify the money, but if we did get one, I don't think I could live with it and sleep in it all night. So I think it kind of finally put a nail in the coffin for my dreams of owning a tent box or any kind of rooftop tent, venture, or going into the more expensive ones. I don't think, even if I had one on the roof, I don't think I would use it. So we'll just have to content ourselves with the caravan. And this year we've started going away on a lot more holidays to Airbnbs and hotels and stuff. So it hasn't been the only thing that we've done this year with Caravan. So it's becoming more of a secondary, so it's not getting used anywhere near as much. I mean, this is only the third trip this year in the Caravan. There's years when we've done one at least once a month, sort of from February to October. So it's definitely, we're using it less and less, but it's been great. We've made our burgers, we've had chips today. We went for a walk on Merla Beach. Pat had it on his Garmin, and it's 5 miles. It took us just over 2 hours, and it was absolutely beautiful. You could have, but for the fact obviously it was windy and it was raining. If it had been a beautiful sunny day, the beach, that when you were walking around, you could have been anywhere really exotic in the world. The way the trees were kind of scooping out of the sand, it was just beautiful. And then there was a little colony of seals, and you could see all these molted shells from crabs, and it was absolutely brilliant. And to be fair, his watch did really well. It had the whole map and everything on it, so he was able to follow it, and it was absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure what the future will hold for the Caravan, but we'll take it month by month. It might end up for sale, it might not. We'll see how we go, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time that we're out.